Hello and welcome. Today I have another ink review video for you. This one is a sample of Sailor's Ink Studio number 162. And we're going to go ahead and do a swatch of this. And I think this is going to be maybe like a green or a teal color. Okay, it definitely looks green. Oh, it looks like we've got something else going on in there. And I'll leave a link down below where you can find this in case you want to try it yourself. A lot of times when I pick out samples to buy, I don't always remember what they look like when I receive them because I try to order a few at a time. So by the time I get to reviewing them, it's always a surprise as to what I got. Makes it a lot of fun. All right, let's write the name on here. These Ink Studio inks are a lot of fun because they don't even have proper names. So you always wonder what they are going to look like. Okay, so here's how that swatch turned out. I'm going to put it under a fan to dry. I'll be right back. Alright, now I've got some copy paper here, and I always like to test these out on copy paper because sometimes all you have handy is whatever cheap paper is available at work or school, and you just want to know how the ink is going to perform. So I always do this test here. Let's see, 162. And this is copy paper. Alright, that's how that looks so far. That's kind of maybe a little bit of a muted foresty green look to it or something. Alright, let's try this on some HP 32. And HP 32 is also copy paper, but it's a little bit nicer. It has a nice finish on it, so the ink tends to show off its properties a little bit better. And it's a good in-between budget option. Okay, this is Ink Studio 162. And this is HP 32 paper. And if there are any colors that you would like to see me review, definitely leave a comment. And if I have the ink or if I can get it, then we'll do a review video. Alright, there we go. That's how that looks so far. And we'll try this on some Tomoe River paper. And Tomoe River paper also shows off the properties of the ink really, really well. So I like to run ink tests on this just to see what neat properties the ink is hiding. Okay, this is Ink Studio 162, and this is Tomoe River. There we go. And if you like these videos or if they're helpful to you at all, just leave a like and subscribe to see more. There we go. Alright, so we're going to set that aside. And also I'm going to go check real quick on our swatch and see if it's dry, so I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back, and here is how this turned out. So there's definitely this is definitely okay for inexpensive papers. It looks like it'll perform just fine. It's a really pretty kind of a dusty, almost not really a gray green, but a dusty green. And in this breakout of the colors here where we made the swatches, it's hard to tell, but in person when you look at it, you can see there's a tiny bit of pink peeking through, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't really show up in the writing as much, but there is some shading in the writing, which is unusual for copy paper. Here it is on the HP 32. And on here on these swatches, so just like in here where you can see a little bit of pink peeking through, on here you see it, but it's broken out more. So it looks green, and then here it looks a little bit like pink in the green. It's hard to describe, but it's really pretty. And in here you can see it in the writing, so anywhere the ink goes down a little bit heavier, you start to see that pink peeking through. And there's a lot of shading in this color. So this is a really nice one if you like shading and if you like green colored inks. And then here it is on the Tomoe River, and you can see how this is doing what the HP 32 was trying to do, where you see a little bit of pink kind of breaking out here and showing up. But over here on the Tomo River, you really see the pink and then the green, and it's just separating out so nicely. So of course in the writing it shows up even more. You got this lovely shading overall, and then anywhere the ink goes down heavier, it appears almost pink. It's very, very pretty. This is a really unusual one to go from green to pink, since they're complete opposites on the color wheel. And this makes for a really, really nice ink. And I think that might be why this green looks a little bit maybe dusty or muted on these other papers, is just because when you have colors on the opposite end of the color wheel come together, they tend to mute each other down a little bit. And that's probably why it does that. So you get this lovely muted green, and then wherever the ink goes down heavily, you see the pink, which is really, really pretty. So that's how those swatches came out. And here is how our swatch card looks. So first of all, there's some lovely halo shading in here, just a little bit. And then you have all this green, and then little spots where the pink is blushing through. And then down here, you could really see that pink with this darker shading going around. And then down here in the writing, you can, hopefully the camera picks that up, but you can see the pink coming through where the ink goes down more heavily. This is a really unusual color, so I'll try to find a link for it and leave it down below. And thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.